What up, what up, what up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Not Paid Enough podcast. Coming to you live from the home of the MMA Brace podcast, which you can see on Thursday nights at 8 o'clock right here on Twitch. But we're not here for that. We're here for the Not Paid Enough podcast. What's happening? I'm your host, Hood. I'm here with the lovely co-host, Ashley.
Hi.
How's everybody doing tonight, chat? Join us on the talk at any moment in the night. What's happening? How's everybody doing? We haven't been here in a while.
No, two whole weeks.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't had a show in a minute, and been having withdrawals, but yo, we're back. And yeah, we're here. So, chat again. Join us on the talks here. We're gonna be talking about the jobs that traumatized us.
Oh, so many.
I've had so many of them. We're gonna talk six different talking points about it.
Yes.
Ask some few questions. Again, join in on the talk. So yeah, we're gonna revisit. Pardon me. Let me start over. We're gonna revisit the jobs that broke us, humbled us, and shaped our villain origin ways. Ooh. So I'm interested to see what she's got to say about that. So yeah, we're gonna start off with let's talk about the worst coworker that you've ever worked with. Man, I got a list of those motherfuckers, bro.
I don't miss them either.
So let me ask you a quick question. So what did this coworker, this terrible coworker of yours, do that immediately make you say like, yeah, this ain't gonna work out?
The worst one. I mean, because in my head there's like 10 of them popping up, but
yeah, sounds about right.
The first one that comes to mind. Repeat the question.
The question: what did this coworker do that immediately made you say like this isn't gonna work out?
Oh, see, I don't know if I want to share that story, but
Well, maybe not mention the person's name, but you can tell the story. Maybe
physical inappropriateness. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, being physical, touchy, handsy.
Yeah, they're out there. That's for sure. Yikes. For me, I would have to say just one who's just doesn't care, who's lazy, just does more harm than help, if anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, dead weight, if you will. Let's get them out of here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm being mild with it right now too. So like,
should we be mild with it? I mean,
no,
this is supposed.
Let's not be mild about it. In fact, this is a fucking podcast, yo. This is not paying enough podcasts. Yeah, fuck
honest
it.
and real.
Yeah, fuck it. What was the exact moment you realized that this person was unhinged?
When I bent over to grab cups from under the bar, and a hand slid between my legs.
Sexual harassment.
Mm-hmm. Kind of hard when they were the owner, though.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's definitely leave the names out of this one then.
Yep.
So that's then the next question. Just I already know the answer to because I was going to ask you: did management know about it? And did they fix it?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Because management, wow, that's terrible. I'm very sorry to hear that.
No, I called said person out, and I was fired the next day after a 16-hour double 3 days before Christmas.
Yeah, that's messed up. Very sorry to hear that. Very sorry to hear that. Damn, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Because honestly, the questions I had coming up for you I already know the answer too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that shit ain't right, man. Y'all don't let nobody fuck with y'all work, bro. Fuck all that shit right there.
Right.
You're there to make bread. You're not there to get harassed and shit like that. But let's talk about the co-workers though. Fuck that management. What's the we're talk about the pettiest things that they've done. Maybe that's the stuff that we have done. Let's talk about that. Let's talk
The
about
pettiest things that we've done at work?
Yeah, let's talk about the pettiest things. So, like, let me ask you this. So, someone pissed you off. What triggered the pettiness? Like, what happened?
So, I'm thinking of a total other job, a different coworker that irritated me. And, so what triggered it?
Yeah.
I had a 20 top, and I needed help, and they were letting me get in the weeds. And so the next shift that we worked together, when they had a table and were in the weeds, I left their food in the window. I didn't assist, and I left their drinks on the bar. So I let them go old.
Yeah, I think the pettiest thing I've ever done was someone needing help on a particular station, and me knowing that this person needed help, and I just let them kind of just like get in the weeds.
Yeah,
like,
let them struggle.
yeah. I mean, I feel bad about it now because at the end of the day, it
Oh,
affects all of us. But I was like, at the time, I was like, "Fuck this guy, bro." You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
no,
It's
I
not-
didn't. I didn't feel bad at all.
So you would you think it was deserved? And this person deserved that? Now, do you think back at it now, like,
Absolutely.
yeah, you still think he deserved it?
Yeah.
I have to agree with the person I'm referring to. I think I wouldn't say that I if I can go back, I'd do it again. Because I do feel bad about it. Because again, at the end of the day, it affects all of us. I care. You know, I take pride in my work and I care. So like, I look back at it now and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But if it were to happen again, I probably fucking still do it, bro. I probably still fucking do it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, fuck that motherfucker, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you were being petty and you were doing your pettiness or whatever to this individual, did anybody catch you or did you get away clean slate with it?
Oh no, I got caught.
You got caught?
I got caught.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was also best friends with management. So
Okay.
at that job, I was best friends with management, and they were like, "Yo, Ashley, no, you can't be doing that. Like, it's all hands. If chef's calling hands, you need to grab." And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm still, because the kitchen you would go in one way and out the other, so you had to walk by when they were calling hands, and if you hadn't made it out the door yet and they're calling hands, I would hear them as I'm walking in that first door. Hands, table 22, hands. And I'm like, beep, be lining out. And I go back and do another round around my tables, wait 10 minutes, come back in. They're still calling hands for 22. And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Nope.
So
Nope.
so would you say that the situation, did it get resolved in any way or did it just kind of just end that way?
No, it ended that way. I did it a couple more times. Like, it was an ongoing, like, that person was my arch nemesis the entire time I was at that job.
That's wild. I was gonna say, so like, what you like, knowing what you know now, would you do it again?
I'm a different person now, so at that time, I wasn't. So this, being who I am now, I don't think that I would, but I would probably end up being petty in other ways.
You ever watch anybody else be petty with it?
Oh, yeah.
You do anything about it?
No. No. Because in the service industry, if you're front of house and somebody is being petty to another server, it's probably within good reason. Like, you're never getting petty acts done to you in front of house without a reasoning. So you were a dick at some point.
Okay, fair enough. I've seen it happen before, and I just kind of I helped. I went in and helped so that it could be avoidable, and it was at the time. It worked, but what happened after that between the two individuals, I don't know. Not my problem. But at that time, yeah, I hopped in and I helped out because, like I said, man, at the end of the day, it affects all of us, and I'm there with them. So if the ship goes sinking, I'm sinking with them, and I couldn't let that happen. So let's talk about some, like, you've managed before. You've done management before.
I have.
Yeah, I've done management a dozen times. You have to do those job interviews.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of suck, right? I wish I could just kind of bring in my own crew, my own squad, knowing that I can trust them, and I know the job will get done. But no, unfortunately, you can't do that. And but what are some of the like job interview fails, like, you remember? Like, let me ask you. So what is the worst interview you either given or worst interview you ever been involved with, like being interviewed?
Oh, see, my perspective on that is different than what the question is asking, because the job interviews that I've done, I've interviewed, but it was, at that time it was retail. So, and it was for small businesses. So the people I was interviewing were people that I wanted to come on board. So there was never an off moment. So I was always the first line. Like they would interview with me, and if I felt that they were good, which typically I was interviewing them because I wanted them, then they would pass on to the owner, and it was usually the owner who was like, nah, every single one got turned down. I'm like, what are you talking about? This person's so freaking awesome. They're amazing. I actually got 3 or 4 really good friends out of that. So, maybe they weren't meant to be my employees, but yet better yet friends. And as far as interviews that I've done, I've not had a bad interview.
I got some pretty funny ones. I've had some interviews. I've given so many of them. I've given interviews where I remember specifically one person was more concerned not about what the pay was or how many hours. No, he was more concerned about what time was break and what time he went home. Was not concerned about anything else. During the interview, he kept asking me, "What time do we get out of here at night?" And I'm like, in the middle of like trying to tell him about us and what we're looking for and stuff, and what time was break? What time was lunch? What time we take breaks? So needless to say, I didn't hire this guy. But another funny one was one guy brought his ride with him to the job interview.
Oh.
Yeah, he brought his ride. So he brought his buddy with him, and he sat in the interview. And I was like, "Oh, am I interviewing the both of you guys? Like, did you both apply for the job?" And one guy was like, "I applied for the job," and I'm like, "Well, what are you here for?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm his ride." And I'm like, "Oh, so you don't need to sit in. You don't need to sit in on the interview." And he's like, "Yeah, but I'm his ride though." So I'm like, "No, that's not how it works. You don't sit in." During the interview, I was like, "You can have a seat in the other table over there," and he did. But I thought that was kind of strange. I've done other interviews where people have shown up drunk or high. Those are the funny ones right there. Yeah, some wild ones. Some really funny ones. But yeah, just Titusville's finest. So yeah, those are pretty funny. As far as like myself, I've never had like a weird interview, from an interviewee.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've never had one of those. It's always been the other way around and stuff like that. But have you ever lied on an interview and regretted it?
Lied and regretted it? No.
Yeah. Lied and then just didn't give a shit about the lie?
Yeah, no, it got me the job.
Right.
I bullshitted my way through it.
I mean, sometimes you have to.
I bullshitted my way through banquet serving.
Yeah, sometimes you have to.
And at that time, I had only actually been a server for I only had 6 months, maybe 8 months worth of serving experience. And I was like, oh yeah, I bullshitted my way. And banquet should be easy, real quick. And I had Googled what banquet serving was, and it landed me the job, and I learned so much, and that took off on 8 years. For 8 years, I was a banquet server.
I think the only thing I've ever lied about on a job interview was probably how long I probably worked somewhere.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I never really had to lie about my experiences and my certifications and stuff like that because I had it. It was just at one point when I was younger, I was I was working a job for a year, and it's one of the job interviewees actually called me out on it. But I work a job for a year, and then leave it and work for another job for a year, and then leave it and work for another job for a year, and I did this for oddly for 5-6 years, and it wasn't purposely. I just that's just how it worked out. So in paper, it looked like after a year, I'd haul ass.
Yeah.
So this guy wanted to hire me, but then he was like, "Are you gonna leave in a year, bro? Because if you are, I can't bring you on, bro." No, bro. And I'm trying to explain to him that was just kind of weird. It did look bad, but there was no ill intentions or ill will behind all of that. That just happened. Just how it happened to work out. And my thing was on the come up was I just kept going where the money was. I just got really good at what I was doing, whether it was cooking or painting or whatever it was I was doing. Because I was even doing forklift operating when I was at a very young age. I was 18. I had my forklift license already. So I would just get another job offer elsewhere for the same job, just for a different company for more money.
Better pay.
And that's why I just kept popping like that. It just happened to happen. It just happened to be after a year. So this is how it worked out. But no, I didn't. And that job I got hired on, I ended up being there for 4 years, not a year, just for the record. So it worked out. What's the dumbest questions you've ever been asked on a job interview?
Oh, I'm gonna have to think about that one.
I think the dumbest question for me asked was, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's not really a dumb question. It was just like, why do you want to work for us? But I think it was more not the question being dumb for me, but it was for me. It was just like how the question was asked, kind of like, why do you want to work for us? Like, why? You know, why do you want to work for us? Stuff like that. Not a dumb question, but just kind of like.
The dumbest question. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's not necessarily dumb. I guess just the way it was asked to. So I just needed like a little part time. And we talked about this when I had applied for a little snack shack like place. And she was like, "Are you comfortable with coconuts?" And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, am I comfortable with coconuts? Like, are you comfortable with handling coconuts? I'm like, this was a group interview. There was 10 of us in this interview, and I'm like, one, it's the first time I've ever done a group interview, so it was really weird. Like, you're sitting there with all your, she's only hiring 2 out of the 10, so you're in competition with all of these people. And then I got asked, "Are you comfortable with coconuts?" And I remember sitting there like, so I don't think this is for me, and I'm gonna leave now. And she's like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm out." Like, and I got up and walked away, and I was like, "What the fuck was that?"
You know, it's funny you talked about group interviews. I've actually done interviews where it was like me and like 2 other managers. So it's like I was like the kitchen manager of this particular job, and then it was like the front of house manager, and then it was the assistant GM. And we were opening up this restaurant, brand new restaurant. So, and we sat in the lobby. The lobby didn't have any tables or chairs or anything, so it echoed, right? So you walk in this freaking front door of this restaurant, the lobby, and all the way pressed in the back is a big table, and it's me and these 2 other managers, and it's quiet, and we're just sitting there, and like we were having fun with it because we did look like we were like a serious bunch of a group of people. Just it looked wild, so we knew what was going on. Think about the person coming in for the interview, how like nervous they are now, and a lot of them the ones that we did hire came back and told us they were like, you know how nervous I was when I walked in there, and it was just like this room, and y'all 3 were sitting there looking all like serious and shit like that, and we knew what we were doing. We were having so much fun with it. It was so funny, but that was just crazy. But that is kind of weird though. It's like you don't need all these people. Vice versa, group of people or group of managers do fucking interviews. Like, come on now, like,
No.
we're here for a job. Like, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying?
Anything
Like,
that ever said group interviews after that, I was like, I'm not applying for this job.
you ever walk out of an interview knowing you're not gonna get it? Like, you knew you bombed.
Every single interview I've ever done, I thought I bombed. And then I get a call back, like, "We want to hire him." Like, what? Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever. I know I've never bombed an interview. I've never felt like I did an interview and I was like, I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna get it. I don't think I've ever had that feeling.
Really?
Yeah. Because I've always stuck to the same thing, so I knew I was good at it. You know what I'm saying? Like cooking, for instance. When I applied for a job for cooking, whether it was a sous chef job, or like right out of college, I got a job at the Bay Hill Invitationals where like the professional golf players play. Even when I applied for that job, I knew I was like I had it in the bag. I was that confident in my trade. You know what I'm saying? And what I was doing. And at the time, I was cooking. Even when I applied for construction, because I already had the experience from working under the table with other people, other friends, and stuff like that. You know, painting. I did drywall, like all this. I had the experience, and then when I applied for the real job, not under the table, working on the books, I should say, I was confident in that as well. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I never had like, oh, I'm really nervous about this and stuff like that. You know?
I guess that's good.
Yeah.
High self-worth there.
I think it's the only job, I guess, because podcasting is a job, right? Is that safe to say? I think podcasting was the only thing I was nervous about,
Okay.
but never like a job interview.
Okay.
Yeah, day 1 of the podcast, I was really nervous. Yeah, I was just like live. Well, I wasn't live, but it was just like knowing that this is where we're gonna be in the position we're in right now. Where we're broadcasting to the world and doing it live and yeah, just podcasting. That's it for me.
I think I've been nervous at every single thing.
Did you ever get hired for an interview and you thought maybe you had no chance getting it? Like, did you ever you said you were nervous for every single one of them, but did you walk out there knowing let me go look elsewhere, and then you get that call shocked about it?
Yeah, banquet serving, the Hilton. Yeah.
What kind of questions were they asking you? What made you so nervous about it?
It had nothing to do with questions and had everything to do with the manager that was interviewing me. She was very intimidating.
Okay.
My first 6 to 8 months, I wouldn't speak to her. I'd just be like, hi, and keep my head down. Her energy and her presence was scary. But then I ended up getting to know her, and she was cool, and everything was all fine and dandy. So it was. I've had quite a few managers who just carried really intense energy and were very intimidating. It was I'm not getting in their way.
Did you ever get a job and then decide, I'm not gonna go?
I have never no call no showed a job. Never.
I got hired, and the reason why I did this is because I was applying for work. So I was applying. I applied at multiple places, and I remember I got hired at 2 restaurants at the same time, and I went where the money was, obviously. So I ended up calling the other place and telling them, thanks but no thanks, essentially, right? They're all upset about it, and I don't blame them. But at the end of the day, they understood that I'm going where the bread is. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's been a couple of times where I got hired for a place, and then got hired somewhere, started working there a couple of days, and then got hired at another place for more money, and then I left the establishment, but always on good terms, put the 2 weeks or whatever.
Oh, I only have one place that I left bad terms, and that was Dollar Tree. I was 17.
I like the Dollar Tree.
It was right before my 18th birthday. 3 months before my 18th birthday, I got hired there. I was still in school. All of that. I ended up putting in a 2 weeks asking for my 18th birthday off. And they approved it initially. And then the schedule came out that I was scheduled to work. And I was standing there at the register, and my homegirl came from the back, and she's like, yo, they scheduled you on your birthday. I thought you asked for that off. And I was like, I did, and it got approved. And she's like,
Psych.
nah, bitch, you're on the schedule. And I walked back there. I looked at the schedule, and I saw I was scheduled. I walked to the front. I talked to the manager. I'm like, this was approved. I have the paper. I was approved. She's like, it's 3 weeks before Christmas. Nobody gets off. And I said, oh, okay. And I pulled a piece of receipt paper out, and I wrote, fuck you.
Yeah.
I quit. And I handed it to her. I grabbed my stuff, and I left. That was the only place I left bad terms on. And I was young, and I was stupid.
Yeah, we did a lot of dumb shit when we were young.
Yeah.
For sure. A lot of dumb shit, especially when we were 18. Jesus Christ.
Yes.
How about the Employee of the Month little awards that they be dishing out at some of these places? You ever had to deal with all that right there?
Deal with it in what way?
People are very when they see you can get the gold star, people are gunning for it, and it's always a big thing. Then the managers are throwing it down your throat, if you do this, you can be rewarded, Employee of the Month.
I didn't care about it, Employee of the Month. I never really gave a crap about it for any place that it works except for Hilton. Because I did bust my ass at the Hilton. I worked hours nobody wanted to work. I worked back-to-back doubles, sometimes days at a time on minimal sleep. And I got nominated once, And it was only because my girlfriend at the time and her buddies worked in the kitchen and they nominated me. And I didn't win. I lost to somebody who had only been there 3 weeks in housekeeping. But she knew all of the housekeepers.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because I was gonna say, like, do you actually think they earned it, or you think it's just random?
no,
or...
because it was literally staff. Everybody at the Hilton, all staff, employees.
So the management wasn't in control of it.
No, it was left to all the housekeepers, all the maintenance, the chefs, the servers, front of house, grab and go, front desk, like the whole hotel staff voted in like 4 categories. And I didn't win, and I was like, you know what? I don't want it.
What are some that you remember? What are some of the ridiculous like customer requests that you've ever were ever asked to do?
The first one that comes to mind was a restaurant that I worked at. The girl asked me if we could go to Publix and get the gluten-free vegan buns for her specifically.
For her. She wanted
in that
you to
moment.
get it.
And I'm like, vegan bun?
She wanted you to go get it.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. And then she wanted the, it was like a chicken sandwich or something like that. She wanted me to go to Publix and get the gluten-free vegan buns, which I had never heard of. I'm sure it's probably a thing.
It is a thing.
But she also wanted us to substitute the chicken for like the Impossible chicken.
Okay.
And I'm like, we don't have any of these options. And she's like, well, the customer's right. So I'm not being made to feel like I'm right now. And I was like, I'm not taking this table. Just like people asking you to substitute foods that your restaurant doesn't have. Like,
well, I mean, what's on the menu is on the menu. Like,
exactly.
And if you're gonna show up to a restaurant, you don't go to a restaurant to ask them to go get buns for you either. Like, it's not the way it works. Yeah.
Like, the entitlement, being front of house and in the service industry, boy, the entitlement.
What request just made you like want to just quit your job? What was the one thing that I've had this one lady. Gosh, this one lady. She used to go there like every Tuesday, where I worked, and she would order the Caesar salad every single time. Caesar salad. She wanted the Caesar salad but she wanted us to pick out all the light colored letters.
She only wanted dark.
They wanted the
romaine.
dark. So we had to sit there, and the manager had us do it every time. We had to sit there and pick through it every single time. Every single time. It's wild.
I don't think that there was ever a request that made me want to quit my job. Did it make me question everything about humanity?
Yeah.
And me go back to the kitchen and be like, yo, chef, you won't believe this. And then have a good laugh and talk shit about them. And then go right back out there. Sorry, you can't do that. Yeah, you could talk to the chef if you want. I can have him come out.
Yeah, that lettuce thing was wild. We used to have this big nacho dish, this big massive deal that came with all sorts of toppings and stuff like that. I used to have people request that, and wanted it all separate. Lettuce separate, tomato separate, protein, this, that, say all separate. Like, and this thing was massive. Like, it was wild. It was wild. And these people are regulars. Like, they know this. The amount of work we had to do in order to get all that split up. It's just, yeah, some of these customers, they're wilding. They're wilding. I've had customers show up and bring, like, their own buns and stuff like that. They rather use, can I use this bun? Back to that bun store. They used to bring their own bun, and it was a gluten-free bun or whatever it was they used to bring, and it couldn't touch the grill because the grill, we had the proteins on it, so it couldn't touch the grill. We got to cook it separately. Wild, some wild shit.
I just remembered one that made me want to quit.
Okay.
So we had a 300-person wedding.
Okay.
We set everything up. We had been there for 5 or 6 hours, had everything set up. And an hour before the wedding, the mother of the bride comes in and says, "This isn't right, change it," and wanted the whole setup. All the tables moved, the bars moved, the band moved. Like, shit that took us 6 hours to set up, you want us to rearrange in an hour? Not to mention, wanted us to also change, like, the linens and, like, that's a full that was one where my boss was like, "Do it," and I was like, "Are you you got like 10 more people to come in here?" And they did. They went and pulled servers from the restaurant. They went and pulled grab and go. They grabbed maintenance to help move the tables. Like, I mean, we managed to make it happen in 45 minutes, but that if we hadn't had the rest of the hotel staff to come in and do that, no, absolutely not. And I did want to quit my job that day. The entitlement, dude. 300 people wedding.
I laugh because, listen, if I'm running a restaurant and people just, it sucks, and I understand it. I've been everywhere from the front of the house, back of the house, and someone comes in on the fly to just show up, and it's like 15 people, unannounced. I'm that guy. I'm gonna take them. I'm that guy. I'm gonna make it. Oh, you want to move these tables? I got you. I'm that guy. I'm gonna make it happen.
15 is nothing.
But I just do a number. I just do a number out there. I just do a number out there. I'm gonna make it happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm that guy. Yeah. I've people told me before that it's hard to work for me, and it's not hard to work for me. I just do it by the book. This is how they want it done. That's how we're gonna do it. And I'm not gonna fucking cut corners or make my own shit up. But you know what? We were just talking about earlier about the worst coworker.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to mention of a coworker, and I really do hope this guy's the best, man. But he had a substance issue. He always had to. He had to.
Hey,
Autumn, what's good? The good old Autumn. Her and I got some horror stories from. We're not gonna say the name, but she knows what I'm talking about. But he had a substance problem, so every time he was at work, he's always jammed up. Now the thing about this guy was he was like the most reliable one. He was always there. He'd show up. You call him on his day off, he'd show up, but he was always jammed up.
Ma'am,
look at this guy right there.
You guys can't see her, but off camera we have my kitty cat, and she likes to pull my tapestries down off the wall. Chaos.
She's trying to tell you something. That's why she's doing it. But this guy was super reliable, always there. And there was one time we were opening up the restaurant, and we start prepping and cooking our food ahead of time. So he had the grill full of grilled chicken, like we're grilling chicken, so we can prep it. We cut it up, do our deal. So he loads this grill up, and I don't now, but he proceeds to go to the bathroom. Doesn't tell anybody he goes to the bathroom. So he's in the bathroom, and we have those bathrooms where I used to work. We had these bathrooms that when you walk in, the lights automatically turn on. So, whatever, he's in there, food's cooking, and this kitchen's big. So like, there's another room in this kitchen. So people are in the back prepping. I remember I was there that day, and I was somewhere in there as well. And again, he didn't tell anybody that he went to the bathroom. And next thing you know, I walk around the front, and all this food is getting cooked. And I'm like, where's, we're going to call him David. I'm like, where's David, Nobody knows where David's at. So, we pull all this food out, burnt and shit like that. And we're just like, we're looking around. We don't see David. We're thinking, okay, I guess he quit, We knew that he was fucked up all the time and stuff, so he quit. And, we thought he quit. And I was like, let me check the bathroom. So again, we have the bathrooms that the light turn on when you walk in, and they turn off when nobody's moving. I just opened the door and the lights are off. So I didn't think, okay, ain't nobody in there because the lights are off. Because otherwise, if you move around, the lights will turn on. Long story short, he was in there. Yeah, he was in there. He wasn't moving, but he was in there. And I walk in there and I go in there to use the bathroom this time. And I go to open the stall and it doesn't open. And and automatically I think, David. That's the first thing I thought, David. I look underneath and I see his legs there. Sure enough, I go in there. David is fucked up, sitting on the toilet, fucked up, just drugged out. And I'm like, bro, like, David, what are you like, bro? You been here the whole time. You burned the food. I'm like, what the fuck? You're fucked up. And needless to say, David got fired. And I remember probably a year passed, and now I'm working construction now. And I remember I was on the second floor of this building that we're working on, and I look out the window, and this window didn't have glass or anything. We're working on this building, raw stucco, and I look out the window, and here's David walking down the road, and he's walking with a call girl, clearly a call girl, and David's fucked up, and this is my last time seeing this guy. Cops roll up, whatever happened, some domestic shit happened down there, and me going down there and getting him off the hook was the last time I seen David. Fucked up, and I still got him off the hook. I don't know how I was able to do it, and I didn't like bribe anybody like that. I just went down there and I was like, oh man, that's my friend, man, like, you know, he's fucked up or whatever, this and that. Got David off the hook. I hope you're doing good, David. I know you're not your name's not David, but I hope you're doing good, bro. Stay away from the drugs, dude. I had to bring that up because it was like the worst coworker, and he wasn't the worst. He was super reliable. It was always he had to be fucked up all the time. He just had to be. But so yeah, what we were talking about, the customer requests, right? The real funny ones there.
I think so.
No, we were. According to my notes right here.
Okay. He's got his notes, and
I got my notes. I got all sorts of shit going on here.
This one
I
is.
got my notes. I got the phone. I got the laptop. I got it all going on here.
This one's his rodeo, so I get to sit back and.
I drive this one right here. But yeah, have you ever, for any job, have you ever given like a 2 weeks notice, or have you ever given like a 2-second notice? Like what?
I have given a 2 weeks notice to every job. And then I just talked about my 2-second F you, I'm out with Dollar Tree. That was the only one I ever did that. But every other job.
We're going to have to edit that out. We're not going to mention establishments.
Oh, I don't care about those. Those are big corporations. It could be any particular one. If we're talking about small restaurants and stores, no, we don't mention names.
Did management ever try to guilt trip you into quitting?
Guilt trip me into quitting?
Yeah.
No.
I've had places where I worked. This is my younger days when I didn't know any better, where they would like put stuff in my head to make me believe like the job was more difficult than what it really was. I don't know why they would do that. Apparently they were just like picking on the new guys. I was one of them, and it was this big ass restaurant I worked at. It was like one of my first ones that I was working at when I was kind of like in and out of school before I finally went back and graduated and what have you. But yeah, this one job particularly it was in Orlando too, man. It was a big old 3-story restaurant. It was like a sports bar, and I remember the head chef there was just like mean to everybody. I don't understand why. And I remember him telling me to go upstairs to the 3rd floor to go get items that weren't up there. Like a total jerk, man. Like, what the fuck, you know? Where you at with that?
No, I haven't been guilt tripped.
You ever celebrate somebody's firing?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
There's one guy. I really don't like him. I'm not gonna say his name. I really don't like him. But I was very happy that he got fired. In fact, I might have been like behind the scenes of it.
Oh yeah, I've been behind the scenes.
I might get a little tug. I might get a little tug to it, but yeah, man, fuck y'all, bro. Like if you're not gonna go there and show up to help work, man. You're not gonna help there and like, you know what I'm saying? Bang with me, man. You're gonna bang with me, bro. Like get the fuck out. You know, I ain't got time for it, bro. That's why I'd rather do it by myself. A lot of times I do work by myself, but that's when I was cooking. Speaking of jobs, what do you do for a living?
I'm a nanny.
Oh yeah. How many like you're nannying? What, a family or several families or?
I have two families.
That's right. Okay.
Yep, two families. First one has one little girl, and then my second family has three little girls.
Very cool. Very cool. Do you enjoy the nannying? Is that a word? Nannying?
Nanny.
Nannying? Is that a word? Chad, is that a word?
Nannying.
Nannying?
Nannying. Yes, I do. So out of all the career paths that I've tried, whether it was retail, whether it was being a cashier at a gas station, or being a server in the restaurant industry, service industry, I've always gone back to being a nanny, or taking care of kids. I love it. It fills my you know what? I would rather deal with jerk kids than jerk adults, because the kids have an excuse for why they are, adults do not.
That's very true. What's worse? You think an angry customer or a confused customer? Which one's worse?
Angry.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, I can deal with the angry. Just let them get it all off their chest and be like, "Bro, you want a free meal?" "Oh yeah, man, cool, thanks," and then they're happy again.
No, because 9 times out of 10, if they're an angry customer, and then, like I said, I've worked in every sense of career. That's not even an appropriate sentence. Every field I have worked in, 9 times out of 10, I know that customer is not angry at me, but I'm not going to tolerate, nor do I give a shit that you're coming into the establishment I work at and making me the one who takes your anger because your wife cheated on you, or you lost your job, or this or that happens. I'm doing my job. Yeah. You come in here and treat me like shit because you're angry, get fucked.
Yeah, man. Like, listen, if you're gonna come to work, man, like we all got issues, bro. We all got problems. We all got stuff going on in our lives. We all have kids, pets, whatever it is, man. We all got shit on our plates already. When you come to work, man, just come to work, man. Leave your bullshit.
You're talking about work to work, or you're talking about customers? Because I'm talking about customers.
Well, as far as the customers, like, and that's another discussion. Is like, they're gonna do that, but there's nothing we can do about that. They're gonna do that. They're gonna show up. They're gonna be in a shitty mood. Hell, I've seen people just literally sit down and they're already pissed off. They're already mad. The Karens. Jesus Christ, like, don't what I'm saying? Just don't go out. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna fucking shit on somebody else's day, just don't show up.
I say 9 times out of 10 that they're being angry or belligerent because entitlements or whatever. They've had a shitty day at work, and you show up with this happy, cheery face. Hi, how can I help you? Welcome to so and so, and they hate that. So it's, let me take it out on you. That's
not fair.
That's I'm not gonna tolerate that. And
that's how they get their shit spit in their food.
I have never done that.
I've never spat in nobody's food.
No, I have intentionally, maybe
shot a booger.
They asked for, no ice in their sweet tea, and I put ice in their sweet tea, or they asked for no tomatoes, and I didn't bring it in no tomatoes. Little petty shit like that.
You ever watch that movie called Waiting?
Yes, that is disgusting.
It's fucked up.
That is disgusting, but pretty close to what it's like working in the restaurant industry.
Yeah. Those of you who has never worked in a restaurant, don't piss off the server.
Yeah, don't. I haven't done any of that. The worst thing I think I have ever done as far as that goes is they were dicks to me from the one. They sat themselves, then they were a dick. Then they talked to me like I was stupid. And she quite literally made, and I will never forget this woman's face. I will never forget what she said, the way she treated me. But she said, no wonder you're a server, not good for anything else. And I went, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. Let me get management for you real quick. And I explained to the manager what happened. They told me to put their food in. I put their food in, and then I let it sit in the window for 20 minutes.
Look it.
You're going to be an asshole to me? You're going to wait. Now you're on my time. Now you're at the mercy of my hands. So, no, you're going to wait for your food. It's like a timeout. You're going to sit there and think about what you did.
Yeah.
Like, that was probably the worst thing. 20 minutes, I let their food sit in the window. I did get a write-up for that. It was worth it.
Yeah, luckily, I say luckily, I love cooking. I've been doing it my whole life. But at the moment, I don't cook, which is kind of nice. I work in a freezer right now, but the not cooking part, it's kind of nice because, you know, you get tired of it a little bit, you know. I do it for a living and I do it at home. I love doing it. I love cooking, don't get me wrong, but it's like, I need a break sometimes. Again, I've been doing it my whole life. And not to mention, I like the new experiences of what I'm doing now and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm working in a freezer right now, so like, I don't really appreciate the cold, but but that's what I do now, and yeah, it's just kind of nice not having to deal with like the customer, you know, and stuff like that. Because even as a chef, you still got to deal with the customers.
Yeah.
They want to speak to the chef, or they want to ask that chef questions or what have you, you know. But it's a nice change for now. You know, I'm sure I'll be back in the kitchen at some point. But I like what I do now, and you know, I don't know how long you been nannying for. Nannying. How do you say it again?
Off and on nannying.
Nannying.
Off and on since I was 17. So I'm gonna be 39 on Monday. So last year my 30s, but so I would say 22 years I've been doing it. 22, 23 years I've been doing it off and on. Like I said, I always come back to it.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, I started cooking when I was I was 13. No. It was before that. I think I might have been like 11 or 12. I remember it was the first time I've cooked, like the first time I ever did anything. And wow, here we are. That's right. That's right. You gotta be happy with what you do. That's true. That's why I've been doing it for so long. I enjoy it. I love it. But yeah, so, and I'm turning 47 now, so.
We're gonna talk about.
Yeah, but
I can't whistle, but.
long time. I'm good at what I do. But now I gotta get good at trying to hold it down in the freezer now. So
Yeah.
negative 15 to be exact. You ever regret it, quitting a job? Like if you think about it now, you know, was there a job that you like? Shit, I wish I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't necessarily quit. So in the banquet service industry, if you time out on picking up events, if you're if you're an on-call server, they will send you out events. You let them know what you're capable of working, and then they schedule you for those shifts. With the Hilton, I timed out. So after 2 months of not working, you are taken off. You're no longer an active employee. You're marked as inactive. And I did try to get back in contact with them like on the 3rd month, like, hey, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to work. Well, in that 3 months, all of the managers that I worked with that loved me had quit or been fired. And so it was all new management except for the head manager. And I was marked as not rehireable.
Yeah,
after a very long time.
Yeah, there was a couple jobs, 2 particular, that I worked at, and I feel bad quitting the job. I think it was because the people that I did it to, they were just good people, and I wasn't right. And I regret those 2. I really do. They're good people. I shouldn't have done that to them, you know. And You know, if I can go back, I would have done things differently. That's for sure. But I really enjoyed this. How about yourself?
I do too.
I miss doing these things. I really enjoy doing these things. But it's that time. It's time that we gotta start wrapping it up, y'all.
Wrapping it up.
Oh, we're gonna wrap it up.
Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna say our closing words here. Ashley,
Okay.
you got anything for the people?
That caught me off guard. That we were wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Caught me. I was like, wait a minute, what's happening? Eben Embrace has debuted, so I'm gonna do a little plug here real quick. Eben Embrace featuring myself and Hood has debuted Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. here on Twitch. If you happen to miss it, we do have a youtube.com/Eben Embrace podcast. You can catch the replay there. And yeah. Go follow. It's my birthday weekend.
Happy
Give
birthday.
us a follow. Subscribe, like, all of those things.
Yeah, check out the socials. Check out the pictures. Like it. Subscribe it.
Yeah.
All that jazz, man. Come support, man. Come support. But yes, so from your friends for the Not Paying Enough podcast, every Saturday night, 8:30. Love you guys very much. Autumn, thanks very much. And we'll catch you in the flip.
Bye.